Hey guys, Brian Dahlberg here from Brian's Fish Tanks and Aquatic Support Systems. It's been about a year since Jimmy was here last, and he came back to kind of look at the tanks and film them again. So thought I'd take you through and tell you about each fish and each tank and how I take care of them.
All right, what do we got here?
So this tank here is kind of a mixed tank. It's got about a 20-inch silver arowana in it. It's kind of a rescue. I got it for free from a local guy that was wanting to get rid of it.
That is a good deal.
Yeah, free is good. This here is a Mota or a Parachromis Mota Gwens. This is a Rio Blanco, and this comes from a guy named Sean Hayden, who's really well known out of Oklahoma for his breeding of Motas, and this is just a real nice specimen. It's a male. And then there's a Midas Cichlid or Amphilophus citronellus in there too. It's the orange one over there. That's just a grow out that I grew up from a pair that I've got that'll be in the video later, I'm sure. It's a 210-gallon tank, and I don't do a whole lot as far as water parameters. I don't add any additives other than Chem Safe when I do my water changes. These fish are all living peacefully together for the most part. Every so often there's a little bit of fighting. This is kind of the one tank that's different than what I keep because it's just kind of mixed species, and typically I try to keep species only as far as a male and a female and get them to breed.
What are your water parameters here? So
here we have basically liquid rock, real high pH, and cichlids, they're okay with that. Especially African cichlids, which I don't keep, but they're fine with the high pH. It doesn't bother them at all. I'm able to get them to breed easily. So it's pretty hard water. I do 50 to 75% water changes weekly on these tanks. Usually do a gravel vac every other week.
Yeah, gravel looks pretty clean here.
And then you can see every tank except one in this basement is run off of sponge filters. I got a central air system. And I just clean out half of the filters one week and half the other week. And I just wash them in tap water, and there's enough biological bacteria in there that doesn't matter. Plus you keep the other ones in the tank during the off week and it works out just fine. So down here is, these are Chronoheros umberiferum or umbi cichlids. That's a F1 male that you're filming right now, and it's actually the parents of the big pair in the other tank, and then there's a female down there as well in the tube. These are probably a 4 to 5 year old pair. I've spawned them successfully many times. Don't really ever grow out the fry, but these are like I say, F1, so they're the parents of my wild-caught pair, or the male is the son of my wild-caught pair.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
He looks hungry.
Yeah, he is. He likes to stretch out his mouth and let you know he's there when you're up against the glass.
Very interactive fish, huh?
Yeah. And with these fish too, one of the things that's kind of cool about them, one of the nicknames is a blue freckled monster. So you'll notice up by the front gill plate and behind the eye, they've got blue freckles basically. And a lot of umbi keepers, the more freckling that you have is kind of a sign of a more sought after fish, I guess. I wouldn't say that this one is totally freckled up, but he's got pretty good freckles on the gill plates on both sides, and then the blue finnage is really nice too. So I feed for all my fish, I feed strictly Southern Delight. This is a large cichlid. It's the biggest pellet that they make. And there's several formulas.
Nice big pellet.
Yeah, I just kind of put it in this hole right here. The nice thing too is these come in a shaker bottle, so you don't have to get your hands all stinky. Female came over and got some. He's a little camera shy, I think, as far as wondering why there's something there while he's trying to eat, but I think he'll go up and get some.
All right, and these are the parents?
Yeah, so these are also umbis. These are wild caught. They're probably 8 or 9 years old. You're looking at the male right there. His name is Magnus. We might have covered this in the last video you did last year, but at one point, and this is before I had this fish, he was probably the most sought after umbi in the country. The prior owner, Mike Mann is his name. He's a real well-known umbi breeder, and this was just, at one time when he was young, a little bit younger, he was just a specimen that you couldn't believe. Same thing with this tank, 50 to 70% water changes weekly and no additives or anything like that. And I feed them the same food, the Southern Delight large cichlid.
Any tricks to breeding these guys?
You need a little bit of heat, but not too much.
What's the temperature?
I keep these, well, just see where we're at today. 76. I just use one of these infrared thermometers. I might turn it up a little bit if I'm wanting a fish to breed. These are probably beyond breeding. Flower pots in the tanks are helpful for breeding. It gives them
Are they necessary though?
It's not necessary, but it gives them two things, kind of a cave and also a smooth surface, which they like.
Okay.
South and Central American cichlids, for some reason, like to lay eggs on a smoother surface.
Are they pretty good parents?
They are, for the most part. Okay. It all depends. I've got some of my cichlid pairs where I know that I need to pull them almost right away when there's free swimming fry, because they'll eat them. Others, you can leave them in for a long time until you decide you want to sell them. Or sometimes if they're ready to spawn again, though, they will eat what fry they have in the tank already with them in order to get ready for the new spawn.
Okay. Can we see you feed these guys?
Yeah.
Same foods?
Same food, Southern Delight, large cichlid. You guys could probably eat a whole bottle. It just seems, the food, it's so funny, it just looks so small to them because they're so big.
Yep.
But
yeah, these are really big pellets, folks.
Yeah.
Oh, the female's loving it.
Yeah.
All right, what do we have in this one here?
These are Amphilophus retislatus. So Amphilophus covers, several different fish in that genus, like your Midas, your red devils, your Trimax. They're all Amphilophus, but this is a retislatus.
Anything related to like a flower horn baby?
Well,
They got this knuckle hump.
Actually, flower horns come from, they say, Trimax, which are down over here.
Down over here.
Yep, and then they cross them with something else. I forget what it is. So a lot of flower horns, you'll see this kind of same black spot.
Yeah, the spottage.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, a lot of people that aren't really knowledgeable about cichlids, when they come down here, the first thing they say is, "Oh, that's a cool flower horn."
Yeah, exactly.
And it's because of the hump, But yeah, when this pair gets into breeding mode, his colors change quite a bit. The stripes get super dark black, and then he's got nice red kind of underneath, and they just look really nice. I mean, not that they don't look nice already, but and then his nuchal hump kind of grows a little bit more and gets a little bit more pronounced.
What kind of tank mates are best for these guys?
I mean, I keep a pleco in every tank just for cleanliness.
Yeah.
There are a couple small fish in there. Those are Saboldies. There was 8, now there's 2, so they're not the greatest tank mates.
Right.
Because they've been getting eaten. But a lot of times people will keep like silver dollars in with these types of cichlids, and it usually works pretty good.
Okay.
It can help breeding too, because it gives them a sense of that everything's okay when there's other fish swimming around as well.
Good tether fish.
Yeah, so like in this tank right to your right, I got some silver dollars in there just for that purpose. I was having a hard time getting this pair to breed. So just grabbed some red hooks from actually Quality Aquatics, who you visited. Yeah. So you're looking there at a Feste. That's a male Feste cichlid. I don't know the scientific the first part of the name offhand. Sorry.
You can barely fit in that.
Yeah, the tube is more for the female to hide, but he seems to like to poke his head in there more than she does, and she kind of hangs out in the flower pot.
This is her right here.
Yep.
Wow, so the females look absolutely way different.
Right. We can get her out. I mean, her color. I think I might feed them. She might just be a little scared too, because believe it or not, they react differently when different people are down here, you know? Kind of weird. Here she comes.
There she is.
And that color looks pretty nice now, but when she's ready to spawn, the red and the yellow and the black stripes just pop, and she's probably one of the most colorful fish I have down here.
She's already colorful. Wow.
Yeah.
That's some color right there. So same temperature, same waters, it's pretty much everything else?
Yeah, yep. She's actually, her tube's starting to come down, so she's ready. They'll probably lay some eggs. They've been laying eggs for me, but not hatching. So I don't know. They just got to get it figured out. Sometimes pairs just can't get it figured out. The prior owner of these was spawning them regularly, and I haven't been able to spawn them once in about a year and a half since I've had them. So it can show you that, you know, just in different environments, fish will do different things too.
Exactly.
These are Haitiensis cichlids. And you're looking at the male right there. As of kind of right now, he's been, I don't want to say most sought after, but he's the fish that people try to buy off me the most, or else want to know if I've got fry available. There's just not as many of these in the hobby as there once was a few years ago right now. And these came from a line of Haitiensis from a guy that kind of, I don't know if he got out of the hobby or if he just quit selling, but he was really well known, and I was lucky enough to get some, and I grew them out from just small, you know, fingerlings, I guess. Sometimes though, when there's something new around, they get a little shy. And the fry, they know that there's gonna be scraps coming out of their gills, so they start to gather around too.
Oh, that's awesome.
You'll start to see little pieces that they go after, so that's kind of fun to watch too. Give these guys a little food too.
How much food, like money-wise, do they go through a month?
I probably empty a bottle this size once a week.
Oh my goodness.
And I feed on the low side. I only feed once a day. A lot of people that are trying to grow out cichlids will feed 2 times a day just to, you know, try to grow them out faster. But I'm pretty patient as far as that goes. And I think 2 big water changes helps growth just as much as overfeeding, you know?
Yeah.
And then, I mean, Southern Delight's a food that's real good as far as water cleanliness. You don't get as much waste and stuff, but at the same time, even if you're feeding twice a day versus once, you're gonna have more tank maintenance to do and stuff. So I just try to keep it, I feed them every morning and that's it.
Do you manual water change?
Yep.
Oh my God.
Anyone that ever wants to set up a fish room, drill your tanks or do a drip system and do it from the beginning, but I wish I would have done that, you know.
Yeah.
But you don't know either, you know, that you're gonna, unless you plan a fish room in, like if I was gonna redo everything now, I'd do it way different, but I just did it 1 tank at a time and never knew how big it was gonna get, you know.
Okay.
Okay.
We got King over here shooting some shrimp.
Yeah, so that is, his name's Colossus. I don't have names for all my fish, but he came with a name. I don't even really know what it means, but they call it a 9.9 King Confa. People in the flower horn world will know what that means.
9.9?
Yep.
Is that anything like to do with the deer, like a 9-point deer or something?
I don't know.
I don't know. That's weird. Is it like the rating of how beautiful
I'm not sure.
Okay.
The only time I've ever heard the numbers on a flower horn is with a Confa. So I don't know what it means. But it's a hybrid, so people can name it whatever they want, really, you know.
All right, what do we have down here?
So that is a Midas cichlid.
It kind of looks like Cheeto.
It's Cheeto's brother, actually.
Okay.
And I don't just say that because I got two. They actually came from the same spawn way before I had my hands on either of them. Some people think that this one's better looking than Cheeto because he's got a little bit more orange. I prefer Cheeto, but I would really like this guy too. He kind of likes the camera compared to everyone else today. He's getting a little aggressive. His female's down there hiding.
Yeah, she's down here.
Below the pot. I've bred these guys a bunch of times, but they've stopped in the recent months. I'm growing out. Probably should have showed you over there, but I've got some 3 to 4 inch grow outs that I'm working on from that pair.
This one's hilarious. Alright, speaking of Cheeto, let's go visit him real quick before we get on to what you have here, because this is just a line of shrimp stuff.
Yeah.
So let's go and visit Cheeto.
Alright.
Alright, here is Cheeto. Yeah, this one does have a little less orange than his brother here, huh?
Yeah. But yeah, they came from the same spawn, and Cheeto, I mean, he's probably my most popular or most known. Everyone that knows.
Even more than Magnus?
Yeah, nowadays, just because, you know, as years go by, new viewers and stuff like that.
Right.
Whenever I run into somebody, and it doesn't happen a lot, but somebody that knows me from my YouTube channel, they always mention Cheeto, you know.
Could it be the name, or is this?
That could be, yeah. But I don't know. A lot of people just really like they call that kind of a creamsicle. You know, a lot of Midas are solid orange, but a lot of them kind of peel like that and get the creamsicle white and orange.
Okay.
So, and this, he's an Amphilophus species as well, like some of those others down there, but it's called Amphilophus citronellus, and Midas is kind of the common name. Yeah, the female has done pretty well. They've spawned a few times, but I've never gotten to the point where I've been able to keep any fry. They seem to eat their fry or eggs even before they hatch. So that's kind of a bummer, but it's kind of a cool deal. You know, I work in this office where we are all day, and having him up here is kind of a cool wet pet, and she's fun to watch too.
Alright, so your shrimp tanks. You're not really known for your shrimp tanks, but you do love them a lot, just as much as your cichlids. So tell me about your shrimp setup here.
Yeah, so I've got just a 4-tank rack in between 2 cichlid tanks over here. What you're filming there are just some basic crystal reds, which are actually my favorite shrimp. It's kind of the first, other than cherries, it's the first Caridina that I kept, and I've had success with them, you know, for 5 or 6 years now. And they're just a fun color. If you like red and white, they're a fun, colorful shrimp, and
look like candy canes.
Yeah, and they breed real prolifically for me, I guess, and make me a little money on the side too, which helps when you have a lot of tanks.
Right.
Helps support it, and wife likes it that I don't have to dip into the family bank account. And those are red tigers, but some of them are, I think they call them fancy red tigers, or all my friends that are into the monsters are like, what are you keeping these for, you know? But I don't know, it's just, I like all aspects of the aquatic hobby. Right. So
that is awesome.
You know, planted tanks and saltwater and everything.
Do you sell these? I mean, online, or do you sell them just locally?
Mostly local, but I ship. I don't have those on my website because I never really know when I'm going to have stuff available. But people know how to get a hold of me, or I'll post. Well, before Facebook started cracking down on live
stuff,
live sales, but I would just post in like USA Shrimp Keepers groups or whatever on Facebook. So those are super crystal reds, which are more red than white, and I've been really getting into these lately and starting to be able to finally get them to breed for me. There's a ton of snails in there too, so you have to
there's no CO2 in these things, right?
No, not at all.
This mini paleo or whatever thing you got here, and there's also some moss here.
Yeah, there's a little. That's kind of just me not keeping stuff trimmed and it grows
Okay.
together.
It just grows, okay. All right, over here where Kang Lee is. Did you just blind yourself? I flashed myself. I'm trying to get out the way. Oh, nice grip right here.
Yeah, that thing's just a monster.
That is beautiful.
I keep pulling some off and selling it every so often, and then it just
Sweet.
grows. No CO2.
So what is your favorite shrimp over here? Like,
Over here, probably the red pintos.
yeah, I was just looking at them. There's scuds in here too.
There are, yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bummer. I got to redo that tank.
While we were visiting Cheeto, we saw a nice little tank over there. I
Oh,
gotta
the
go
planet
film
tank?
that thing.
Okay,
Nicely
let's go
planted
back
tank,
up
so
there.
Let's go back up there.
Sure.
All right, so what do we have here?
So this is a 90-gallon planted tank, severely overgrown right now, but it's got a Monte Carlo carpeting. Within the rocks, I've got Ireo Vietnam growing, and then Physidens fontanus, which is kind of that plant moss that's up at the top, at the peak there, and then along some of the sides. It houses cardinal tetras and then a bunch of, like a few hundred cherry shrimp. If you look closely, and you can get some nice close-ups of some cherry shrimp in there. But it's super overgrown. I've
love it.
had a busy summer and I haven't been able to keep up with maintenance, but I did a video a month or so ago where the Monte Carlo Monte Carlo carpet came up, like this whole section here. I came down here one day and it was just floating in the air.
Oh, no way.
I don't dose anything super fancy for ferrets. I actually use Corey's Easy Green. Probably gonna take the cardinals out actually. As much as I love them, I just kind of want this to be a shrimp tank and see if I can't just breed a massive colony in there. All right, guys, well, thanks for checking out the fish room today. Again, my name is Brian Dahlberg, and I'm with Brian's Fish Tanks on YouTube, and my website and my online business is called aquaticsupportsystems.com. You can go there to buy fish food, shrimp food, any type of aquarium-related products. You can also find me on Facebook, Brian Dahlberg, or Aquatic Support Systems, or Brian's Fish Tank, or also on Instagram, all three of those too. So any questions, get a hold of me, and thanks for watching.